December 12, 1944. Hürtgen Forest, Germany. WWII 6:20 hours. Hauptmann Friedrich Weber, 38, Wehrmacht infantry officer, crouched in frozen foxhole examining a rifle taken from dead American soldier. The M1 Garand. 8 rounds. Semi-automatic. Made. Metallic ping sound when empty clip ejected. His. Men carried carabiner 98K. 5 rounds. Bolt action. Designed in 1898. Same rifle their fathers used in last war. Weber had been fighting Americans for 6 months. Normandy, Falaise, now German soil. Every engagement taught same lesson. German soldiers fired 1 shot while Americans fired 8. German soldiers worked bolts while Americans kept triggers pressed. German casualties were 3-to-1 in firefights that lasted under 2 minutes. Command called it training problem. Better marksmanship would compensate. Weber knew different. He'd watched his best riflemen die reloading while American privates kept firing. What Weber didn't know was that his report would reach Berlin within 48 hours. What he didn't know was that German ordnance officers had been testing captured Garands since 1943. What he didn't know was that they'd already reached the same conclusion he was about to write. Every American soldier outgunned every German soldier, not by training, not by tactics, by simple mathematics of firepower. By December 1944, Germany had been fighting semi-automatic rifles for 18 months. The M1 Garand entered mass production in 1936. By June 1944, over 4 million had been manufactured. Every American infantryman from Normandy to the Bulge carried one. The German carabiner 98K was magnificent rifle, accurate to 500 meters, reliable in mud, snow, sand, could fire in temperatures from -40 to +50 Celsius. German snipers with scoped Kar 98K could hit man-sized target at 800 meters, but it was bolt action. Fire 1 shot, pull bolt back, eject spent cartridge, push bolt forward, chamber new round, close bolt, aim, fire again. Trained riflemen could do this in 3 seconds. Olympic-level soldier might reach 2 seconds. The M1 Garand was semi-automatic. Pull trigger. Fire. Gas-operated mechanism ejects spent cartridge, chambers new round automatically. Pull trigger again. Total time between shots, 0.3 seconds. American doctrine was built on this speed. Standard infantry squad. 8 men with M1 Garands firing 64 rounds before reloading. German squad. 9 men with Kar 98K firing 45 rounds before reloading. Americans fired 40% more bullets in first 15 seconds of contact. Those first 15 seconds decided most infantry engagements. Side that put more bullets downrange in opening seconds usually won. Even if accuracy was identical, 5% hit rate, Americans landed more hits because they fired more shots. Wehrmacht training manuals acknowledged this by 1943. Official doctrine. German infantry must close distance rapidly, use terrain, achieve surprise, never engage Americans in sustained firefight beyond 100 meters. The mathematics of firepower favored Americans. German advantage was in movement and position, but there was a deeper problem, one that troubled German ordnance experts since 1942. Germany knew semi-automatic rifles existed. They'd developed the Gewehr 41 in 1941. Full auto capability. 10-round magazine. Should have matched Garand. It didn't work. Gas system failed in winter. Too heavy at 11 pounds. Accuracy poor beyond 300 meters. Manufactured 145,000 units. Withdrawn from service by 1944. Replaced by Gewehr 43. Better design, lighter, more reliable. But Germany only manufactured 400,000 Gewehr 43 rifles by war's end, compared to 4 million M1 Garands. And Gewehr 43 went primarily to snipers and specialists. Standard infantry kept Kar 98K through end of war. The question that haunted German weapons experts was simple. Why couldn't Germany mass-produce semi-automatic rifles when America could? The answer was in rifle Weber held in his frozen foxhole. He just didn't know it yet. On January 8, 1945, Weber's report reached Waffenamt, German Army Weapons Office in Berlin. It was filed with 37 similar reports from December 1944 alone. All said same thing. American rifle superiority was decisive in infantry combat. Oberst Hans-Jürgen von Blumenthal, 52, Chief of Small Arms Development, had been reading these reports since Tunisia 1943. By January 1945, he'd accumulated 200 field reports, all consistent. German infantry was outgunned. Von Blumenthal had access to something field officers didn't: actual M1 Garand rifles, captured specimens, complete technical analysis. The Waffenamt testing facility at Kummersdorf had been examining American rifles since 1942. On January 15, 1945, von Blumenthal wrote classified memorandum to Wehrmacht High Command, declassified 1958. The memo contained devastating admission. After exhaustive testing of captured American M1 rifle, this office concludes the weapon represents superior design to our standard Karabiner 98K in following aspects: rate of fire 6 times greater, reliability equal or superior, accuracy adequate for combat ranges, weight acceptable, manufacturing complexity within our industrial capability. The decisive factor is not the weapon itself but American production methods. United States manufactured 4.3 million M1 rifles from 1936-1944. This represents level of precision. Manufacturing we cannot match at present. Industrial capacity. The M1 Garand requires 47 precision-machined parts. Our Kar 98K requires 18. American factories machine these parts to tolerances of 0.001 inch using automated machinery. Our factories machine to 0.003 inch using manual methods. We have the knowledge to build superior semi-automatic rifle. We lack the industrial capacity to manufacture it in sufficient numbers to change battlefield mathematics. The memo was never sent to frontline units. It remained classified until 1958. But its conclusion was inescapable. Germany could design semi-automatic rifles. Germany couldn't mass-produce them. America could. America did. The man who designed the M1 Garand was not American general or MIT engineer. He was Canadian immigrant who barely spoke English. John Cantius Garand, born 1888 in Quebec, moved to Connecticut at age 11. Worked in textile mills. Taught himself mechanical engineering by reading textbooks at night. Never attended university. In 1919, at age 31, Garand joined Springfield Armory as junior designer. Annual salary, $2,400. His assignment, develop semi-automatic rifle for U.S. Army. The Army had been trying since 1900. 23 previous designs had failed. Too heavy, too unreliable, too complex to manufacture, too expensive. The contract specified, rifle must weigh under 10 pounds, function in all climates, cost under $50 to manufacture, accurate to 400 yards, fire without malfunction for 5,000 rounds. Garand spent 16 years on the design. From 1919 to 1935, he tested 34 different gas systems, built 87 prototype receivers, tried 12 different operating rod configurations, rejected 200 design elements that worked but couldn't be mass-produced cheaply. His breakthrough came in 1932. Instead of positioning gas port near chamber, standard design, he moved it forward near muzzle. This reduced gas pressure, allowed simpler mechanism, reduced manufacturing complexity by 40%. On January 9, 1936, U.S. Army officially adopted the M1 Garand as standard service rifle. First semi-automatic rifle ever adopted by any major army as standard infantry weapon. John Garand never received royalties. He was government employee. His designs belonged to U.S. Army. Total compensation for creating most successful rifle in history. His annual salary, which reached $6,000 by retirement in 1953. In 1944 interview, reporter asked Garand if he regretted not receiving royalties. Estimated value, $50 million, Garand replied. I designed rifle for soldiers. Every time I hear it won a battle, that's my royalty. But the rifle itself was only half the equation. The other half was something Germany couldn't copy. American mass production methods. Springfield Armory and Winchester. Repeating arms manufactured M1 Garands using system developed by automotive industry. Assembly lines. Interchangeable parts. Precision gauges. Statistical quality control. Each rifle component was machined to within 0.001 inch tolerance. This meant any trigger assembly fit any receiver. Any barrel fit any stock. Any operating rod fit any gas cylinder. A rifle could be assembled from random parts bins and function perfectly. German manufacturing used traditional gunsmith methods. Each rifle was hand-fitted. Parts filed and adjusted to match. Skilled gunsmith required. This produced excellent rifles, but limited production to 12,000 rifles per month across all German factories. American automated manufacturing produced 40,000 M1 Garands per month. At Springfield and Winchester combined, plus another 20,000 M1 carbines per month at 10 other contractors. German captured rifles were sent to testing facilities. Engineers reverse-engineered every component, built working copies, fired 10,000 test rounds. Rifles functioned flawlessly. Then German engineers tried to manufacture copies using existing factory equipment. They could produce 200 rifles per month, at cost of $180 per rifle versus $50 for Kar 98 KW. To match American production of 40,000 M1 Garands per month, Germany would need to build 15 new factories, install 800 specialized machine tools, train 12,000 machinists. Total cost, 50 million Reichsmarks. Time required, 18 months minimum. Germany didn't have 50 million Reichsmarks for rifles. They were building tanks. Germany didn't have 18 months. They were fighting on 3 fronts. Germany didn't have specialized machine tools. Precision machinery imports had been cut off since 1941, so German infantry kept Kar 98K, and American infantry kept M1 Garand. And the mathematics of firepower remained unchanged. This firepower gap changed infantry doctrine permanently. Before M1 Garand, infantry tactics emphasized marksmanship, aimed shots, fire discipline. German doctrine from 1914. Each soldier fires 15 aimed rounds per engagement. Hit rate should reach 15%. After M1 Garand, American doctrine emphasized volume of fire. Standard training: empty 8-round clip in 3 seconds. Reload in 2 seconds. Fire 24 rounds in first 10 seconds of contact. Hit rate didn't need to be 15%. At 5% hit rate, 24 rounds meant 1.2 hits. German soldier firing 5 rounds at 15% meant 0.75 hits. Americans didn't need better marksmen. They needed adequate marksmen with faster rifles. General George Patton, 3rd Army commander, understood this perfectly. January 26, 1945, press conference, he made famous statement. In my opinion, the M1 rifle is the greatest battle implement ever devised. German response came from unexpected source. After war, captured Wehrmacht training documents were analyzed. Found this passage from December 1944 Infantry Manual. When engaging American infantry, German forces must achieve tactical surprise and maintain movement. Static firefights favor Americans due to superior rate of fire. Each American rifleman can deliver firepower equivalent to 3 German riflemen in sustained engagement. 3-to-1 firepower advantage. From rifle alone, no difference in training, tactics, or courage. Just mathematics of semi-automatic versus bolt action. Post-war U.S. Army analysis calculated the impact. In European theater from June 1944 to May 1945, American infantry fired approximately 120 million rounds of .30-06 ammunition from M1 Garands. Hit rate in combat, approximately 4%. Total enemy casualties from M1 fire, approximately $480,000. If American infantry had used bolt-action rifles with same hit rate, they would have fired approximately 20 million rounds in same engagements. Same 4% hit rate would have caused approximately 80,000 casualties. The 400,000 casualty difference from rifle design alone shortened European war by estimated 3 to 4 months. This was calculated by comparing casualty rates per engagement in Italy 1943 using Springfield 1903 bolt action versus France. 1944 using M1 Garand, German military historians reached similar conclusion. 1952 study by Bundeswehr Historical Division. American semi-automatic rifle superiority was decisive tactical factor in infantry combat. German forces suffered 35% higher casualties in firefights against M1 equipped units compared to combat against Soviet forces, equipped with bolt-action Mosin-Nagant rifles. The M1 Garand didn't just outgun German rifles. It changed fundamental calculus of infantry warfare. Hauptmann Friedrich Weber survived the war. Captured by Americans near Remagen Bridge, March 1945. Repatriated to Germany, 1947. Worked as mechanical engineer until retirement, 1972. In 1968 interview for German Military History Journal, Weber was asked what he remembered most about fighting Americans. The sound, he said. Our rifles went bang, pause, bang, pause. American rifles went bang, 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 8 shots. Then metallic ping. Then bang, 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 bang again. We called it the American typewriter. You could tell who was winning firefight just by listening. Interviewer. Did German soldiers try to capture M1 Garands? Weber. All the time. In Hürtgen, half my company was using captured American rifles and carbines. Better rate of fire. But we couldn't get ammunition. Our supply system couldn't deliver 30.06 cartridges, so we used them until ammunition ran out, then went back to Kar 98K. Interviewer. Why didn't Germany produce similar weapon? Weber. We had Gewehr 43, similar concept, but I never saw one in combat until April 1945. By then we were down to old men and boys with Kar 98K rifles from 1898. Americans armed 18-year-olds with rifles from 1936. That tells you everything about why we lost. John Garand, the rifle's designer, lived until 1974. Died age 86 in Springfield, Massachusetts. His funeral was attended by 200 people. No military honor guard. No national recognition. Local newspaper obituary. 4 paragraphs. In 1941, U.S. government awarded Garand $50,000 bonus for his rifle design. He used $25,000 to establish engineering scholarship at Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Kept $25,000 for retirement. When Garand retired in 1953, reporter asked if he had regrets about not receiving royalties for rifle that armed 5 million American soldiers. Garand's reply, recorded interview, money is temporary. Every soldier who came home because my rifle fired faster than enemy rifle, that's permanent. That's worth more than any royalty. The last M1 Garand in U.S. military service was retired in 1976. Total production from 1936-1957, 625 million rifles. Used in World War II, Korea, early Vietnam. Still in service with dozens of countries today. Oberst Hans-Jürgen von Blumenthal, the German weapons expert who wrote 1945 memo admitting M1 superiority, survived the war. Became professor of mechanical engineering at Technical University of Munich. Published memoir in 1961. One chapter titled, The Rifle We Couldn't Build. Quote from page 287. We analyzed the M1 Garand in 1943. We understood its superiority immediately. We could have built equivalent weapon, but we could not build 4 million equivalent weapons. That was the difference. America didn't just design better rifle. They designed rifle they could produce in quantities that made resistance futile. That is genius of American engineering. Not making best weapon, making adequate weapon in overwhelming numbers. Today, M1 Garand is displayed in museums worldwide. National World War II Museum in New Orleans has John Garand's personal prototype. Tag reads, "The rifle that gave every American soldier firepower of 3 German soldiers." There's a larger principle here. The M1 Garand wasn't most accurate rifle of World War II. That was British Lee Enfield. Wasn't most powerful. That was Soviet PTRS anti-tank rifle. Wasn't most advanced. That was German Sturmgewehr 44 assault rifle. M1 Garand was the rifle that could be manufactured in quantities that changed battlefield mathematics. It was adequate rifle produced in decisive numbers. How often do we pursue perfect solution at expense of adequate solution in volume? Germany designed multiple rifles superior to M1 Garand. Gewehr 41, Gewehr 42, Sturmgewehr 44. Each was technological marvel. Each was produced in quantities too small to matter. German industry built 400,000 semi-automatic rifles total. America built 4.3 million M1 Garands. The lesson isn't about rifles. It's about understanding difference between technical superiority and battlefield superiority. Technical superiority is what weapon can do. Battlefield superiority is how many you can build. John Garand understood this. He designed rifle that was good enough. Not perfect, good enough. Then he designed it so factories could build 40,000 per month. That's battlefield superiority. Last M1 Garand ever manufactured was rifle number 650,000. Built May 1957. Presented to President Dwight Eisenhower. Engraved plaque. From the rifle that won the war, to the general who won the war. Eisenhower, who commanded every soldier who carried M1 Garand in Europe, said this in acceptance speech. "This rifle represents American way of war. We didn't have best trained soldiers. We didn't have most experienced generals. We didn't have longest military tradition. What we had was industrial capacity to arm every single soldier with weapon that let him outfight any opponent. That capacity, that determination to give every soldier every advantage, that won the war." German veterans of Eastern and Western fronts were surveyed in 1950s. Asked, "What American weapon did you fear most?" Majority answer wasn't tanks, wasn't artillery, wasn't air power. It was the rifle that went bang, 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 bang. The rifle that made every American private equal to 3 German soldiers. The rifle designed by immigrant who never went to college. The rifle Germany could reverse engineer but couldn't mass produce. The M1 Garand, the greatest battle implement ever devised, not because it was perfect, because it was good enough. And there were 4.3 million of them.